Hi, this is Coach Tony Morgan, and today's boiler is a Partie Geotech HE. Now this video is going to be a special one because I'm going to show you what exactly students who come to me to do their mentorship program go through to become Masterful Engineers. And today we're in our classroom and I'm going to show you exactly what we do. So you can see this Partie Geotech. At the side you can see a little test rig we've got showing an S-plan. Anyway, we're going to move into this boiler and I'm going to show you exactly what we do. As I said, we've got a problem on a boiler of the same type and model, which I've done on another video showing no central heating. So Adam's doing his boiler repair mentorship program and he's going to open up this boiler. We're going to change a part in the classroom environment, and now I'll show you exactly that we have got a classroom environment. I'm going to show you this other boiler, and you've got another test rig here. This is on a Y plan, and we've got some other boilers there as well. As you can see, the classroom is being developed by myself, and this is the first time I'm letting people know about my classroom training. Reality classroom training, you can see that. So Adam, we can open up the boiler. Adam's got his tools and he can go through the process. Now what Adam's done is looked at previous videos on the mentorship website. That's given him the insight. I've told him what to do. He's also got the backup of the video. Now he's going to practice his repair, what he's going to do on a live job, which you'll see coming up. This will give him the confidence, the know-how, what to do, because he's going to do this job on a real life job in the customer's house on his own. So we're going to do our practice run here in the classroom, and then he's going to go out there and replicate that in the real world. These are the parts what Adam's going to change. So we've got the actuator and the diverter valve cartridge, because what was actually happening, this cartridge was leaking, water came through there, through that pin, and it damaged the actuator. Stop rolling. Yeah, and it damaged the actuator. So we're going to practice changing these parts in the classroom, as I said, and then he's going to go out on a live boiler, which we've already diagnosed the fault, and he's going to change that. So we can open up the boiler and then start this job. So how do you feel about this, Adam, of what we've been doing so far?
Very good. Very confident. To be honest, it gives me lots of confidence because I'm doing the same job. I'm practicing the job here in the classroom and then going out performing the real work in the customer's home. So yeah, it's very good.
Excellent. Okay, so we'll just go over what we're going to be doing. This is the actuator. You've got the pin. That's pointing towards the back. It's just how somebody's putting it on. And then you've got the cartridge, what we're going to remove. Now, what you need to do on this boiler, I said to you, once it's drained down, we need to repressurize the expansion vessel. Because we do that because we want to remove all the water out of the boiler. We don't know like surprises, because once you unscrew this, you can have the primary water coming out the top.
Right, okay, so before we open the cartridge, we do the expansions?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, we're going to undo the combustion cover, so you've got 2 screws there.
Right.
Now we can get inside here.
Okay.
So for you guys out there, this is the actual priceless type of training you'll get when you do the mentorship program. You won't find nothing like this in the UK, where you can actually practice before you go out there. You've got my guidance of videos, build you up first to get to this stage what Adam's at. Before we get involved in that, I'll just show you this. This is the same thing, cartridge. This is the block what you can be working on. I said to you on the previous video that some of these have got a bypass,
Yep.
and some haven't.
Yep.
Now if I turn it round, you can see there's no bypass here, so this got no bypass. So that's how you tell there's two types. So with this part here, which is the cartridge with no bypass.
Yep.
So the other cartridge, I think it's a bit shorter, the stem, on the other type with a bypass.
Okay, so it is different, the cartridge is different.
Yeah. Yeah, so the one with and one without are different, yeah, they won't fit.
Okay.
Right, to get to the expansion vessel, you've got the spark generator, what's in your way.
Mm-hmm.
You've done this before,
Yep.
the two screws there,
Yep.
and one at the back,
Yep.
and that comes away. Once you take that away, this part here
Yep.
swivels round.
Okay.
But what we'll do first, let's remove the spark generator first.
Okay.
Now, what we do, you pull this, it's just catching on there, that. You have to just put it down,
Mm-hmm.
so it goes underneath it, like that. Yeah,
Okay.
that gives you then space to get your hand here on the Schrader valve.
Right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So on these Geotechs,
Yeah.
Potsdam Golds, main combis, they're all the same. This design of boiler,
Yeah.
this is the same setup.
Okay.
So you can now get on there and put your foot pump on there. Now, as you know, we're going to isolate the flow and return on the boiler
Mm-hmm.
first.
Yeah.
So your isolation valves underneath, that's return, that's the flow.
Yeah.
You close them.
Yeah.
Now, depending on where the boiler is, again, you've got to assess where the boiler is.
Mm-hmm.
If it's upstairs in the bedroom, then you don't need to close the isolation valves because everything's below.
Yep.
But if you're downstairs in the kitchen, then you've got water above,
Mm-hmm. Everything is about.
then you will have to close. So you have to assess where you are in the property to what decision you make
Yep.
on the isolation valves. Once you've done that, you can open the PRV. Some people say don't open the PRV, but I'd say the risk element is quite low.
Right.
That is going to pass, so you can open it. The other option is that drain point here.
Yeah.
That white tap.
Yeah.
You can open that.
Say that, yeah.
So you'll have to have a bucket underneath
Mm-hmm.
for that to discharge the water into. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So with the drain point open,
Yep.
depending on where you are, the boiler what you can work on, it's upstairs.
Yep.
So you don't have to close the isolation valves.
Okay.
We'll get a bucket and open the drain tap.
Yep.
Then you'll pump and
The
put
expansion.
expansion vessel. That will then pump any water out the boiler, out the drain point,
Okay.
and empty the boiler, whatever, anything's caught in it.
Yeah.
At the same time, we're going to put air in this because it probably won't do anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Not been done in the past. So that kills two birds with one stone.
Okay.
Once you've done that, then we can start
Taking-
working on taking off the cartridge from the block.
Okay.
All right, we're now going to take the actuator off. But before we do that, because we like, this is a practice run, let's go through this part. So we'll get the foot pump and go through the reality training, as it says there, reality classroom training.
Yep.
So we do everything for real.
Yep.
Okay. So we're just preparing to do this. Right, you might be able to do it with your hand. Is it tight?
No, it's okay.
Oh, it's coming off.
Yeah, it's coming off.
Right, good. Right, your drain tap, as I said.
Yep.
Just open that, just turn that towards you.
Okay.
So as I said, you'd have a bucket underneath like this. And then once you do that, we're going to start pumping. You see if you can turn it now. That's it, so that's it, yeah, I can see you turning it.
Yeah.
Okay. So water would come out of there.
Okay.
Now once you start pumping,
Yep.
that water will increase because you're putting pressure, so you're forcing it out,
Right.
yeah?
Yep.
Now, I open a PRV to let most of it outside. And the other thing with these particular PRVs,
Yeah.
especially this design,
Yep.
it's very difficult to jam them open. You usually just flip back round
Okay.
on that design.
Yep.
So you'll let some out yourself by turning it,
Yep.
but then it'll flip back round. Then it's closed. So
Mm.
when you got pump, you're still pumping against a closed
Mm.
thing. So you open this as back up to let that water out.
Okay.
But as I say, need a bucket.
Yep.
Alright, so do your pumping. And so this is just your practice for doing this out in the real world. There's just air going in. It's just the automatic air vent, that.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Don't worry, just carry on. Just carry on.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just the automatic air vent. Good. What we heard, it wasn't the automatic air vent, it was the fader valve. Well, the connection was on properly, so let's just see the difference now when you're pumping. You know it's going in?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So that's the difference, that's what you're listening for. Just these finer points of what you're doing. This is why we're in the classroom training, preparing for the real world. You actually get to a bar pressure on here, and then once you do that, then you can release it.
Okay.
What you think you're going to do now? Now you've done that, what's next?
Taking the, we put the spark generator back to its place.
Yep.
And then we take the.
But before you put the spark generator, what are you going to do?
We close the shredder valve.
Yep. That's it, put your cap back.
Yeah.
So what's next, you think?
Put the spark generator back to its place.
Nope.
Nope. Turn this around.
Yep. That's it. Otherwise the spark generator can't go back.
Yeah, yeah.
Then that spark generator will screw up and back how you took it off before. So put your spark generator back, and now we're going to move forward to the actuator removal. So just to recap, you repressurize expansion vessel to remove the water from the boiler before you start actually working on this part. Alright, so you want your pliers, and so you're going to
take
that clip there off. I don't know why to put it at the back like that, because it's going to That's it. And just take the actuator off now. Just lift it up. Okay. Right. That's the easy bit.
Yep.
So let's just check what this has got. Now this has got a bypass on it.
Mm-hmm.
Now can you see how the head's a bit thinner?
Yep.
So the one we've got is for one with a bypass, because you can see how the head's not as high. Let's look at this. This is the one without a bypass. You can see it's higher.
Yep.
No bypass. But then this, you can see it's not as high.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how you can
Yeah.
tell. If you put your hand there, let me see if I can get in there. That's a bypass there. That pipe
Yep.
is a bypass. So you feel that, so you
Mhm.
know. And obviously it confirms what I just said.
Yep.
But you can still go through the exercise of opening that up. It's the same process,
Yep.
but it's just that the part's going to be different because the one without the bypass won't fit in there. So what you need your big grips
Yep.
to get on there
Yep.
and then undo it. Like the tool you're going to need, as I said, is going to be your grips, but we need the right size. So this is the correct one,
Yep.
and you can see the difference between the other small one. So you can get more leverage with this one.
Yep.
So that's the one you want.
Okay.
I'm glad you've done that.
Yeah.
Make sure now before you do anything, on your direction's correct, but let's make sure you've got it wide enough. That looks okay. All right. You can use your chi energy now.
Yeah.
Did it go?
Yep.
Okay.
Take it out.
Yeah, take it out. Now, before you take it out, let's start. In the real world, you've got your bucket there.
Yep.
Now, assuming the water stopped running,
Mm-hmm.
what I would do, I would close that one
Right. Okay.
and then transfer the bucket over to this side,
Right.
just in case something comes out of it over the top.
Okay. Yep.
Just in case.
Yep.
So let's do that. Let's go through that. Reality classroom training.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say to guys who are looking to do training for bar repairs?
I think this is the best out there, to be honest. Nobody trained you like this. There is no such a course or training or any manufacturers or anybody do this training, you see. You do practice on the actual boiler, then you go out and perform the real work. So that gives you the confidence beforehand, so you know what you're doing when you go to the customer's home.
That's it.
That's brilliant, yeah.
Cool. All right. So as I said, we're going to transfer. Now I've closed that. We're just going to put the bucket over there.
Yep.
So move that stuff out of the way. Right, okay. All right. You can continue installing the cartridge. Remove it now. So let's just have a look at it. All right. Now, if we compare the other cartridge, as I said, which is different,
Yep.
I'll just get it here. So you can see the difference, totally different.
Yep.
And we know why, as is what we said about the bypass.
Yep.
So the one what we're going to fit,
Yep.
on the other boiler, on the Geotech,
Yeah.
is that one,
Without the bypass.
without the bypass.
Okay.
Okay, so guys out there, you can see what Adam is learning, what you're learning by looking at this video, and what you can learn if you want to come on this course and become a Masterful Engineer. Now, we've assumed you changed the cartridge, you put it back.
Yep.
Once you've done that and you tightened it,
Yep.
what do you think you're going to do next?
We change the actuate.
No, because this is the electrical part, this is the water part.
Right.
So you've drained it down, repressurised the expansion vessel.
Yeah.
You've changed the cartridge.
Yeah.
So, and it's tight, so
Yeah.
you need to check it that it's not leaking.
Yeah, so we let the water. Yeah.
So you need to fill the boiler up.
Yeah.
So that's the next thing you're going to do. You're going to fill the boiler back up.
Yep.
Depending where it is, if it's downstairs, you can open the valves.
Yep.
If it's upstairs, you don't need to.
Because you don't close it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Correct. So you shut your, well, you've already shut your drain off. I mean, yeah, your drain off.
Yeah.
PRV's closed. Then you fill it up.
Yeah.
Put to 1 bar, well, 1.2, 1.3.
Yeah.
Check for leaks.
Yep.
Make sure that's okay. So once that's all verified and everything's good, then you can work on the electric side,
Okay.
which is changing actuator,
Okay.
which is a simple part of the job.
Yeah.
So you're going to go through that, so you can unplug the plug from the actuator. Yeah, and put your new actuator on. So there's the new one. Yeah, just, yeah, that's it. Check the plug, which way it goes. And then it should just marry up. If it's not, you've done it wrong. Twist it round. Is that correct?
Okay.
Let me have a look. No, you're wrong. Right. If you hold that like that,
Yeah.
that's that line there. And then if you look at that, you're on the opposite
yeah.
side. That's it. See it? And now it's on both together.
Yeah.
So just fine detail like this.
Yeah.
Coming on this course, you're going to learn loads. And then you can put that in. Put your clip on. And once your clip's on, that's basically it. That's it. Job's a good one. And then, once you've done that,
Yeah.
it's all filled actuators on.
Yeah.
We're going to turn the power on.
Yeah.
And then, what mode are we going to run it in?
Heating.
Why?
Because we just run it for a couple of minutes on a heating. And
What's the reason why, though?
Yeah, forgot the reason.
Well, the reason why is to remove the air from the boiler, so
Yeah.
it doesn't airlock,
Yeah.
because you'll have air trapped in it. So you let it run for a few minutes,
Mm-hmm.
dissipate the air, then you put it in hot water, and then the hot water can work. If you put it in hot water first, the air's going to be trapped, it's going to be banging and not too happy.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So do that, heating first, and then hot water next. Test it's all working, which it should, and then that's going to be it, really. You're going to put the case back on. You're going to tell the customer that it's all done. Everything's working as it should. So you test the heat, make sure it's the radiators are getting hot, because that's the complaint.
Mm-hmm.
Once that's good, then we can put the hot water on. So that's the end of this practice run on working on this particular boiler. Now, as I said, this is first class training for guys who want to be an engineer, a proper engineer, learn fast. And I give another example of Adam's amazing speed of learning. we're going to go over to Worcester right now. I'll walk you over to it. Adam,
Yep.
explain what you did with this boiler.
I've taken the flow unit off and applied the heat exchanger, the pump, the whole unit just off. I took them apart, put them back together and put it all back.
That's right, he changed the flow unit as he said. He took out the plate heat exchanger. He took out the right hand block. He took all of it out and worked on it. And now we've got another job set up for him. What we're going to do, he's going to do two jobs actually. He's going to change the right hand block and he's also going to change the hot water heat exchanger. But we practiced in the classroom first, just like we did. He took the fan out here. We're going to do some more work on the fan so you can see what you can do on this reality classroom training. Click on the link of this video if you want to sign up and become a Masterful Engineer with Coach Tony Morgan.